Today on CCX News, a plea from doctors. A rise in measles cases around the Twin Cities has doctors urging people to get vaccinated. The Minnesota Department of Health reports that since May, there have been 30 reported cases of measles. Most of those cases are appearing in young children. Measles is a highly contagious rash that spreads easily by coughing, sneezing, or even being in the same room as someone who has it. Experts say measles can lead to hospitalization and even death. The health department says the outbreak is largely affecting unvaccinated children in Minnesota's Somali community, but anyone who's not vaccinated is at risk. For information on where to get free or low-cost vaccines, you can find a link at ccxmedia.org. With most kids returning to school next week, local police want to remind drivers to stop for school buses that have the lights flashing and arm extended.
We hear constant stories about vehicles running school bus stop arms when kids are getting on and off the buses, all year long, all school year long. So that just makes us feel more pressure to make sure that we're getting the message out.
Minnesota law requires drivers traveling in all directions to stop for buses on undivided roads. Plymouth police say a number of students have been hit in the past, but now with all of the distractions people have in their cars, the risk is even greater.
People are always on their phones. You see that quite often, and if you're not paying attention to what you should be in front of you on the road, it just makes it that much more dangerous, especially when kids are trying to get on and off the school bus.
Plymouth police say they'll be on the lookout for violators next week. Anyone who fails to stop for a bus with its arm extended could have to pay a $500 fine. Improving student test results is proving to be a stubborn challenge. According to newly released data, only about half of Minnesota's students met or exceeded state standards in reading and math. Locally, some districts saw slight gains in the Minnesota Comprehensive Assessments, or MCAs. In the Robbinsdale district, students improved by 1.1 percentage points. However, some saw declines. Osseo area schools saw its reading scores dip slightly, and Wayzata schools, while far exceeding the state average, also saw a slight decrease. If there is a potential bright spot, the results showed that students consistently attending school went up, an increase of roughly 5 percentage points. Well, here's a local dose of good news. A local wheelchair softball team brought the sport's highest title back to Brooklyn Park.
To help our team do it and to see the young guys come through and really be a leading cog to why we had success this year.
Go try.
Just energizes the group as a whole. So it's been an amazing year for us.
The Rolling Twins won the International Wheelchair Softball World Series. They beat Nebraska in an 11-3 win. They were one of more than 20 teams to play in the series, which was hosted in Omaha. First baseman Manny Guerra says the team is now focused on fundraising for next year.
We have expensive equipment that we use. We have to buy a sports chair, right? So we can't use our everyday chair for this. And obviously you see me standing, which shows you that the program is open to all kinds of disabilities. So really the work in the off-season is fundraising.
The Rolling Twins' home ballpark is Todd Anderson Field in Brooklyn Park. One station at the Minnesota State Fair is giving guests a chance to be creative on their own terms. I explain how a Robbinsdale business is making it all possible. Beside all the traffic at the State Fair
when you squeeze your peanut, hold it straight up and down, don't lift it down, keep it nice and high,
is a safe haven for creativity.
Especially someplace like the fair where it's a lot of output of energy, output of money. It's fun to get something back for it, get to really have something that you can take home. That's something that's really yours.
That something is the Spin-a-Painting booth at the fair.
This is the magic button that makes it spin. The longer you hold it down, the faster it'll spin.
Mela Bernstein's been going since she was a kid.
Thank you.
And working it since she was old enough.
The mission of Spin-a-Painting is really just to bring joy and have fun. Favorite thing to do at the fair.
She says the project comes together simply. You put paper on the spinner, press the button, and use paint to make a pattern.
It's really fun because each one is super individualized. No card can ever be exactly the same.
It's a long-standing fair tradition.
I had somebody come up to me the other day and say that when they first did it, it was $1 to do a painting, and it was something like 60 years ago. So the booth has been here for a long time now.
For many of those 60 years, the shop was owned by a New Hope man. It now has a different connection to our area in downtown Robbinsdale.
James Wilda and his hardware store are really proud supporters of Spin-a-Painting.
By supplying non-toxic paints, Wellna Ace Hardware is making fun safe and possible for anyone at the fair.
I just really love that each one is different, that each one is unique, and what can you come up with?
For both kids and kids at heart. You can find Spin a Painting right next to the DNR building at the Minnesota State Fair. We leave you this segment with a local artistic touch. In the Fine Arts Building, visitors can check out creations from across Minnesota. A good number of them come from artists here in the northwest suburbs. Take a look.
Weather certainly played a factor for many games on the opening night of the high school football season Thursday, with some games moved up or back in their kickoff times, with others moved to Friday. Maple Grove and Osseo was one of the games that was played, with some stops and restarts along the way.
Adam Spurl in his first game as the Crimson head coach, facing Coach Ryan Stockhouse and the Orioles in Week 1. First quarter, Maple Grove running back Chuck Lungama, coming off a huge 2023 season, breaks into the secondary and is gone for a 32-yard touchdown. The senior would finish tonight with over 100 yards rushing and 2 TDs. Next offensive series for Osseo. The snap goes off the hands of Osseo quarterback Gavin Stahl. Bo Draheim then causes a fumble. Ethan Berry picks it up and runs it in for a touchdown. The Crimson are up 14-0. Then comes the storm. A wall of water and wind and lightning delayed the game for an hour and 43 minutes. When the game resumed, Maple Grove with the football again. Caden Harney throws a perfect pass to Dylan Vocal in the end zone for a 30-yard touchdown. Maple Grove takes a 21-0 lead after a quarter. Second quarter, and watch for the lightning flash right before the snap here. Harney rolls out and takes it himself, beating the Osseo defender to the pylon for a touchdown. It's 27-0. Following yet another weather delay, this one lasting 40 minutes, the game resumes for good and more of the same. Maple Grove scores 2 more times before halftime to lead 41-0. Top-ranked Crimson go on to beat Osseo 55-7.
The Wayzata football team is hoping to bounce back after a 2-win season last fall. The Trojans did not face an easy opponent in Week 1. Chaz Moots has the highlights.
Wayzata opened up the season at home against the number 4 ranked team in the state, Lakeville South. Picked things up in the second quarter. Trojans up 10-7, but Cougars on the 13-yard line, 4th and 3. Big time stop. William Eisinger dives to make the tackle. Wayzata takes over and would head into halftime with a 3-point lead. Second half, South with another 4th and short, and it's another Trojan stop. Kyle Boutwell and Cooper Cleveland both caused a hit that jarred the ball loose. Evan McCarty recovers the fumble. No scoring in the third quarter. Then the Trojans driving. Boutwell takes a handoff inside, bounces it out to the right, lays a stiff arm, and then barrels his way into the end zone for a 29-yard touchdown. Wayzata up 17-7. The Cougars tried to rally late. Gavin Dean with a nice throw near the end zone. Malachi Gant hauls it in. He stepped out at the 1. Cougars scored 2 plays later, down just 3. They get the ball back with a minute and a half left, but the Trojan defense holds strong. Kamarian Prowl with a sack on 4th down. A statement win to start the season for Wayzata. They take down the number 4 team in the state on their home turf.
Last year, we start the whole offseason and summer. We kind of had that chip on our shoulder coming into the year. and our experience paid off on defense and on offense. It's a huge morale boost for everyone, our school, our community, and our team most importantly, and looking forward for next week and the rest of the season and go attack.
In Plymouth, Chaz Moots, CCX Sports.
The Maple Grove girls swimming and diving team hit the pool for the start of the dual meet season Thursday night. Jay Wilcox has highlights.
Maple Grove hosting Centennial in the Northwest Suburban Conference girls swimming and diving meet. Starting with diving, and Centennial's Kate Wolfel is impressive. She tops 257 for her 6 dives to easily win after placing 11th at state last season. To swimming in the 200 freestyle goes to Maple Grove's Molly Menning. Her winning time is 2:03.71. In the 200 IM, it's Lydia Hajdukovic of Centennial holding off Maple Grove's Annalise Mayer to win in 2:24.01. The 50 freestyle is a victory for the Crimson as Eva Ronshaugen races to the win. Her time is 27.35 seconds. Maple Grove goes on to win the meet over Centennial 108-73. Jay Wilcox, CCX Sports.
Find more prep sports games and highlights at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.